They got structures for their structures. They got structures for everything. They have jury duty. Who has jury duty?
My guest today, I'm joined by Michael Walsh. He's a business coach who's created this incredible framework, which he talks about in his new book. It's developed by over 30 years of helping businesses grow to 10 million, 50 million, and beyond without sacrificing their sanity and their personal life.
Every single human being has the biological need to survive. The reason we're not logical is because it's too slow. It's interesting because if you look at entrepreneurs, it's that innate desire to thrive. Back to your question about human behavior, if you can understand a few different aspects of human behavior, it actually gets a lot easier. There's behaviors and there's structures in business. And a lot of people, I know businesses that do quite well for themselves. They don't really have many structures, but they got really strong behaviors on their people. They got really experienced people. They understand what the customer needs. They know how to protect the company's profit. They know how to give the customer what they need. They work well together. Those companies seem to do pretty well. And I also know other companies that are incredibly highly structured. I mean, I've got a colleague who's got a 3 stores of a coffee franchise. Okay. They got structures for their structures. They got structures for everything. They have jury duty. Who has jury duty when you got little coffee shops? I mean, nobody has that. Nobody thinks of it in a small business except a franchise. That they tend to think of these things. But they've got weak behaviors, apathyism or apathy, lateness. Just not really caring about different things. Really not paying attention. They're somewhat disengaged. Those companies don't do so well. So what I find is it's less about behavior, or sorry, it's less about structures and it's more about behaviors that are involved in this stuff. Except here's the piece they don't tell you. There's structure to behavior. So for example, we have 4 different aspects of human behavior that if business owners just got these, their lives would get a lot simpler. So first of all, every single human being has the biological need to survive. We will do what it takes to survive. People talk about the ego and you talk about emotions and stuff like that. I got to tell you, those are features of being human. They're not flaws. They keep you alive. Okay. People act like,
The
well,
saber-toothed tiger is coming. You need to have this feeling to run away from the saber-toothed tiger, right?
the same, yeah. Now, and in modern parlance, since I don't see too many saber-toothed tigers, a bus does come though, and sometimes they don't see when somebody steps out on the road. So
Well, and tigers are kind of yellow, and buses are usually kind of yellow, so it's in the same location.
there you go, especially if it's a school bus, so you're all set, right? And they're too busy with the kids yelling in the back that they may miss it.
Look, we all think that we should be paying only your fair share in taxes. It just so happens, I think your fair share is lower than probably what you're paying now. Well, we talk a little bit about that in our book, Keep Taxes Away from Your Wealth. You can get a copy and access to the bonuses by going to keeptaxesaway.com. That's keeptaxesaway.com. Head on over there and pick up a copy today.
So if you take a look, if we were logic first, we'd go, oh, there's a bus coming. Well, now what are the pros and cons of getting out of the way? There is no getting out of the way if I'm sitting there with logic. The reason we're not logical is because it's too slow. Do we have logic? Sure. But the one that drives us the most is emotion. If you went, bus, eek, and you run and you get out of the way, next thing you know, you live to actually witness another school bus going by. So the biological need to survive is right there, and it's tied directly to our emotions because emotions are very fast. The second thing that's right alongside that is we have the innate desire to thrive. And it's interesting because if you look at entrepreneurs, it's that innate desire to thrive plus a confidence that they can handle their survival stuff that actually has things go so well. Okay. Now, so survive and thrive are right there with each other. But if there's a threat, survive comes first. If there's not a perceived threat, then thrive has the ability to participate in all that we do. And you don't need to have all your survival needs met before you can actually get to thriving. Otherwise, why would a 5-year-old ever share a toy? Right? So both are there, but survival's there when it's needed, but not when it's not. So there's those two. There's 2 more: the ability and the need to connect. Okay, we know that together we're stronger. So we're safer when we're doing, but it's also where we collaborate and where we create really cool things. And the fourth one is the ability to adapt to a changing environment, even if we don't like the environment. I mean, people told me during COVID that they were crystal clear. They had no doubt that there's no way they could send everybody home and still survive their business. And then COVID happened, and 2 weeks later, everybody's at home. And a lot of businesses survive. Now, it's really difficult to run a restaurant if you don't have anybody that's allowed to come visit you. But for many of the businesses, they in fact they did find ways to cope and adapt and survive. You see that when
And
there's
many
go ahead.
actually found that they could thrive even beyond what they thought was possible. Go ahead, check out the next video down below. And if you want to make sure you get a copy of Don't Spread the Wealth so you can have family banking meetings that actually matter, go to don'tspreadwealth.com. Don'tspreadwealth.com.